Hello friends, is Potain. Next episode. In this episode, we'll be discussing microbes in human welfare, part 1, last one. So I'll share the screen so it will be convenient for you. I think screen came, so we can proceed. So microbes in human welfare, part 1. So what all things we'll be discussing in this chapter or in this episode? As usual, there'll be introduction, then microbes in connection with the biogas, microbes in connection with the biocontrol, microbes in connection with the biofertilizers, and after that, 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question with the key. So we can get into introduction. Last 1 or 2 episode, we are discussing about the various aspects, various application of microbes. Here also, we are involved in discussing other areas where microbes can be utilized, which includes biogas production, biocontrol agents, biofertilizers, etc. All this more towards eco-friendly and how all this has been done. That is what we'll be discussing in this episode. So we can start with the microbes in production of biogas. So for that, first we should know what is meant by the term biogas. See, biogas is a mixture of gases containing predominantly methane. And how it has been produced, it is produced by the microbial activity and which may be used as a fuel. That is NCERT page number 165, the statement has been given. I think first page is clear. Now we can proceed to second page. Sorry. Now when we look on to biogas content, that itself is a pie chart type question, diagram based question, match the following, fill in the blank all type of questions. In biogas, methane is the main item, 50% to 70%. Carbon dioxide will be roughly 30 to 40%. Then a mixture of gases, that is H2S, H2, even traces of nitrogen. H2S and H2 will be around 10%. Nitrogen will be comparatively less. Now, in this figure, we can find a term, calorific value of biogas. So, 4429 kilocals per meter cube at 50% of the methane content connected with the biogas. So, we should know what is meant by calorific value. It is the amount of heat energy that fuel releases when it is completely combusted. And this calorific value is same as calorific power. Now comes the term methanogen. Gen normally means to produce, to start. Example, microsporogenesis, megasporogenesis. And we'll be remembering the term genetics came from the root word genesis. All this means formation. So methanogen, methane producing organism. That way the meaning comes. So methanogen meaning is methane producing, because we should know what is the meaning of the term. Then only things will be easy for us. Different microbes working on different substances under different conditions will produce different products. That already we know in the case of alcohol production. Certain microbes growing on cellulose anaerobically will produce large amount of methane along with the carbon dioxide and hydrogen. These organisms, since they are producing methane anaerobically, they are often called methanogens. Typical example for methanogen is methanobacterium. And this we already studied in anaerobic sludge during sewage treatment. I think up to that it is clear. Now we can proceed to next page. See, this bacteria, that is methanobacterium, also seen in rumen of cattle, helps in the digestion of cellulose, nutrition of cattle connected with the nutrition of cattle, etc. But in humans, they are not able to digest cellulose because no enzyme to digest it. Excrete of cattle, commonly called gobar, which contains large amount of methanogens. And dung can be used to produce biogas, commonly called gobar gas. So gobar and gobar gas. Now, the technology of biogas production in India developed in India mainly due to the efforts of Indian Agriculture Research Institute, IARI, and Gandhi Village Industrialized Commission, KVIC, a popular question, theory question, NEET exam question. and how a typical biogas plant appears or how it works. That we can discuss in the next page. I think this page is clear. So we can proceed to next page. When we look onto that diagram, figure, answer diagram, it's a labeling question, direct question, theory question, all the way. There is a big, very big concrete tank with a 10 to 15 feet depth. And the purpose of this tank where biowaste will be collected and a slurry of cow dung is added. So basic ingredients added. Usually a floating cover is there over the slurry. And we can find it will be rising when the gas is produced in the tank. Gas is produced due to the microbial action. Outlet can be connected to nearby houses for biogas supply. Now the spent slurry that can be removed through another outlet can be used as a fertilizer. So in a nutshell, we can find cow dung is plenty. So you'll be getting fuel as well as fertilizers, most eco-friendly item. So these are the advantages. I think that idea is clear. That is how this biogas plant appear, or how it works. Developed by IARI and KVIC. Now steps in biogas production. All reactions we can find there will be different steps. So one by one we can proceed. The flowchart given there. So bottom we can find in green color all complex chemical fat protein, hemicellulose and cellulose. First step is solubilization, means minimizing the complexity. It is done by decomposer microbes and we'll be getting monomers. Now the next step, monomers will be converted into organic acids. Since acids has been formed, it is called acidogenesis and it is done by fermentative microbes. And commonly seen acid is acetic acid. Now this organic acid will be converted into biogas, where main content is methane, so it is concerned with organism methanogens and the phenomenon is called methanogenesis, methane producing. And when we look on to the biogas mixture, we can find main item is methane, then carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen and traces of nitrogen will be there. This is how the system works. Very easy to follow because it's a chart-like representation. Each step, everything, it is clear. I think you are able to follow. Now we can proceed to next area, biocontrol agents. So when we look on to biocontrol agents, first as usual, what is biocontrol agents? So for that, we should know what is biocontrol. So biocontrol refers to use of biological methods, since biological methods for controlling plant diseases and pests. It is based on natural predation instead of pesticide, like insecticide. Because insecticide, as you know, it is harmful and toxic for biotic life and entire environment, NCERT page number 156. Now, next stage, biocontrol of pest and disease. See, in agriculture, there is a common basic rule. Natural predation is a method to control pest. Organic farmers strongly believes in it. So when natural predation is going on, what they think? Biodiversity furthers means to promote. So furthers health. Another idea is instead of eradicating pest, level is somewhat maintained in a manageable level by complex ecosystem and balancing the ecosystem. So managing. An holistic approach is taken, thus nature can be balanced. NCERT page number 156, 157. Now we can proceed to examples of biocontrol. Some examples given, even match the following direct question. Ladybird and dragonfly used to control aphids and mosquitoes. Next is a popular famous one, Bacillus thuringiensis, BT. So for controlling caterpillars or butterfly caterpillars, BT is available in sachets, small packets as dried spores, which are mixed with water and sprayed onto vulnerable plants such as brassicas and fruit trees, where these are eaten by insect larvae and toxins will be released when it gets inside their body and the larvae get killed. But other insects will be unharmed. This principle is introduced to plants through BT toxin gene. So these plants are resistant to insect attack. Example is BT cotton. Here I can find it. Practical application. Now comes a fungus, trichoderma. Bioclassification also we studied or heard about trichoderma. It is a fungus. And trichoderma species are free living very common in root ecosystem, can control several plant pathogen. That way the question comes. Next is baculoviruses. Pathogens, they will attack insects and other arthropods. So they can attack insects and other arthropods. And majority of baculovirus belongs to nucleopolyhedroviruses. Another popular question. I think up to that it is clear. So we can proceed to next page. So these viruses are excellent candidates for species-specific, narrow spectrum insecticidal application. So very specific, that is species-specific, limited level of organism, that is narrow spectrum, and insecticidal application. They have shown to have no negative impacts on plants, animals, birds, fishes, or even on non-targeted insects. So very useful, baculoviruses. I think up to that it is clear. Now we'll be entering into next topic, integrated pest management. Integrated means combined. This is especially desirable when beneficial insects are being conserved to aid in an overall integrated pest management, IPM program, or when ecologically sensitive areas to being treated. NCERT page number 157. Now, the term IPM, integrated pest management, came in late 1960s, around 1967. But the idea was there around 1960 itself. It was developed to restrict excess use of chemicals and pesticides. Purpose you understood. Now, microbes as biofertilizers. So for that, again, we should know what is biofertilizers. Biofertilizers basically mean they're organisms that enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. So that is how the term comes. And after that only we can proceed how microbes will be used as biofertilizers. So main source of biofertilizers are three categories of organisms: bacteria, fungus, and cyanobacteria. So when we come to biofertilizers, next term is what is organic farming. What is the need or what is the advantage of it? So use of excessive chemical fertilizers led so many complications, not only to organisms, also for environment. Naturally, time reached to switch over to organic farming. Organic farming basically means developing the crop with the use of biofertilizers and can provide optimum nutrients to the crops, needy amount, needy things, that way. And what are the typical examples for biofertilizers? Starting with the bacteria, rhizobium and leguminous plants, organisms like Acetobacter, Spirillum able to fix atmospheric nitrogen in free living stage. This phenomenon can increase nitrogen content in the soil. Nitrogen, as you know, NPK, most basic minerals required by the plant. Now, next is from fungus. So, bacteria. Next is fungus. We are discussing NCERT based. Fungus and roots of higher plants that we study in bioclassification is called mycorrhiza. Typical example is glomus. Fungal symbiont, what is their function? Concerned with the phosphorus absorption from soil to the plant. Other benefit is the plants are able to resist the root-borne pathogens. Similarly, resistance to salinity and drought. These all are the advantage used by the host plant when there is mycorrhiza. So hence, overall increase of general health and development will be there for the host plant. And what is the advantage for fungus? Fungus will get a safe place to stay and also will get the food. That is fungus. Third category of organism is cyanobacteria. Typical examples are Anabaena, Nostoc, and Oscillatoria. Where in Indian rice fields, most active, non-symbiotic nitrogen fixer is Allosera. BGA can increase organic matter to the soil. Fertility can be increased. It counteracts user soil, USAR, that we had in, again, bioclassification when we studied cyanobacteria. USAR means alkaline soil. It is not good for agriculture. So that action, that alkalinity will be reduced by using cyanobacteria. Now, the use of biofertilizers are increasing and in an eco-friendly manner because it is comparatively more safe. Then after that, there is 5 theory question and 5 NEET model question with the key. So these are the last items we have to observe in the 4th episode of Microbes in Human Welfare. So I will just revise it, what all things we learned in this episode. So when we start with the microbes in human welfare, what all we'll be discussing here, you can find topics. Introduction, biogas, biocontrol, biofertilizers, and question and introduction. What all things we'll be learning here. And what is biogas? And second, we looked or studied about a biogas plant. what are the main gases produced, what is calorific value, and what is meant by methanogens, methane producing. Also, we had in STP, methanogens. Typical example is methanobacteria. Then gobar gas connected with the methanogen as a fuel. Now, next is technology developed in India, biogas plant. It is concerned with two agencies, IARI and KVIC, and how it works. A big concrete tank, 10 to 15 feet depth. All organic kernel will be deposited there, and a slurry of cow dung will be added. Reaction takes place. Gas will be produced, can be used as a fuel, and after that, the spent slurry can be utilized as a fertilizer. So we can find cow dung plenty. So fuel will be getting, fertilizer will be getting advantages. Now, next we pass through steps in biogas production. Basically 3 steps. All complex chemicals become monomers by solubilization, decompose the microbes. Then forming organic acid, mainly acetic acid or commonly seen, acidogenesis, fermentative microbes. Then organic acid into biogas, where methanogenesis, methanogens, biogas contain methane, main item, carbon dioxide, H2S, H2, and traces of nitrogen. This is how the steps goes. 3 basic steps. Then we entered into biocontrol agents. So what is meant by biocontrol agents and what is the need for it? How we can avoid pesticides and insecticides and how it can be more eco-friendly, etc. So biological control of pests and diseases. So organic farmers strongly believes biodiversity further promote the health. So what they think, natural predation is a method to control pests. And another idea is instead of eradicating pests, level is maintained in a manageable level. Complex ecosystem and balancing the ecosystem, holistic approach. And that is given in page number 165, 156 and 57 of NCERT. Then agents we pass through, examples of biocontrol, ladybird and dragonfly, Bacillus thuringiensis, BT, how they destroy the caterpillars or butterfly larvae, etc. Then BT cotton, how it is produced. Then trichoderma, fungus, that is present in free-living nature, common in root ecosystem, controls several plant pathogens. Then baculoviruses, belongs to nucleopolyhedrovirus, attacks insect and arthropods, species-specific narrow spectrum, insecticidal, no effect on other organism. Then integrated pest management, next item, short form is IPM. Then what is the idea behind IPM? Then when it started, that is late 1967 or late 1960s, late 1960, around 1967. Then microbes as biofertilizers. So what is biofertilizer and which are the main sources of biofertilizers? 3 categories of organism, bacteria, fungus, and cyanobacteria. Then organic farming. Then biofertilizers example from bacteria. That is basically Rhizobium, Acetobacter, Azospirillum. They can increase the atmospheric nitrogen. Then from fungus side. So fungus side, mainly mycorrhiza, example glomus. Advantage of mycorrhiza when it is connected with the plants. And what mycorrhiza will be getting? Advantage from the host plant. Then cyanobacteria, Anabaena nosta oscillatoria. That is nitrogen fixing organism. In Indian rice field, most active non-symbiotic nitrogen fixer is Allosira. BJ can counteract user soil. User means alkaline soil. Now, biofertilizers. Usage is increasing more eco-friendly manner. 57, 157, 158. After that, 5 theory question. Then you can also find 5 NEET model question with the key. Hoping that it is able to follow. If you like this episode, subscribe or like it, share it, comment on it. Meanwhile, NEET exam practice question lively will be discussing already 3 over. Next will be sexual reproduction flowering plants. We'll be discussing 30, 35, 40 question, probable question from the chapter as first round. So time being, we can wind up. So thank you. Take care. Bye.